Hi everyone, welcome back to the studio vlogs. I just finished up a workshop. I was invited by the lovely Anna Hovitt. She used to be a designer. She runs a educational studio now when it comes to design and fashion. She's also, I believe, the program director for the Chicago Fashion Incubator, which is a program that's coincided with the Macy's brand and Macy's Chicago. They basically have designers in-house who go through mentorship and all kinds of fantastic things, and they also include workshops for them. And I was invited to do a surface pattern design workshop. I did one 2 years ago, so the spring before the spring that COVID hit. So I did another presentation today, a workshop with them on surface pattern design. I walked them through the affinity programs, and we went through how to create a seamless repeat, an affinity designer, an affinity photo, and then Anna was kind enough to let me stay on for the second workshop of the day, which was a PR public relations workshop with Sabrina Wotrang, who is a, I hope I'm saying her last name right. She is a publicist in the Chicagoland area. She used to be Anna's publicist for quite a long time. It was really nice to kind of like get some updated information. I used to work in PR way back in the day when I first started working in the corporate fashion world, before I made my pivot and transitioned into creative work and design work. But it was nice to get some tips on how to, like, you know, promote my small business. And Sabrina had some fantastic information and resources for those who were a part of the workshop. So
she knows how to make great guac.
So I did that. So the rest of today is actually really going to be focused on catching up a bit. I got my COVID shot on Tuesday, my second one, and it laid me out yesterday.
Felt poopy.
Yeah, I felt very poopy from Tuesday through yesterday. I slept in the middle of the day for like 3 hours. I never take naps anymore. And I just kind of needed to rest yesterday, so I didn't get a ton of work done. I did some work before I went to sleep for the evening, but today I'm going to be focusing on finishing up a video that I started editing for the Chicago chapter of the Deck Collective, and finish up my classes for the university. And then, and then I gotta load some new products to Etsy. So I have 2 sticker sheets that I finished. I need to print them out and do some mock-ups and then photograph them. So yeah, so I'm gonna be catching up the most of today, and like printing out and cutting some of those stickers just to kind of see how they work, and then probably cut a set on the silhouette machine. I got the Silhouette Portrait 3 just to have an extra cutting machine, and because there's like all this drama going on with Cricut about, you know, I've had my Cricut for quite a few years now, and they're gonna start charging a subscription fee, but it sounds like those of us who've owned for you know, over so many years, we will still have access to that without having to pay the subscription fee. So I don't know, so I just got the Silhouette because I wanted to learn more in terms of different software types and things like that, and just have an extra cutter, and it's really small and compact, so I really like that. So I have that, so I'm going to probably cut a set on that. Today is Wednesday, May 12th. I can't believe we are getting closer and closer to summer. Today I will be focusing mostly on prepping my next YouTube tutorial. I'll kind of give you a little bit of a behind the scenes view of what I'm working on. This is another Procreate tutorial. I've been kind of varying the different tutorials I do on my channel, you know, from Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, to apps like Procreate, and then like the recent Clip Studio Paint walkthrough that I did. So I'm just trying to pull in all the different like pieces of technology that I utilize for my everyday work and for my creative process, and share tips and techniques with you all. So today we're working on a tutorial for YouTube all about how to add like texture to your artwork in Procreate. So I showed you all how to create texture brushes in my last one, and this week I wanted to show how you can apply texture to your artwork. So that is what I'm going to be working on. I'm going to start filming the overhead shots in a moment. I just did like the intro and the outro, and then I'm going to do the overhead shots. I'm trying to decide if I want to do overhead because the lighting is kind of funky today in my office, or if I want to do kind of just like a screen recording, which is a little bit easier, and I can, it's easier to control, whereas with like an overhead shot, as interesting as they may look, there's just a lot of different variables that impact the overall view of it, and I want people to be able to see what I'm doing in the app. So I might just do both, like screen record as I'm working through the process, doing a voiceover, and then also having an overhead shot. And if the overhead shots don't work, then I'll just use the screen recording. But that is what I'm going to be working on today. And I'm not going to edit it today. I'm going to probably edit it tomorrow because I do have some drawing that I need to work on after this, just for that book concept that I've been trying to finalize. I have the script done. Now I gotta work on the characters and then the backgrounds, and just like, I think I'm gonna try to also thumbnail out the entire book and figure out where each paragraph is gonna go, and then just quick thumbnail sketches of the ideas for each of the layouts. Because what I've been doing is like I have this vision in my head of one of the backgrounds, so I started on that. And then I have an idea of all the characters, and I've just kind of individually been creating those characters. But I think it'll be important to kind of figure out like, okay, what is the layout of this whole thing? What is each spread gonna look like? And at least have like a rough idea, and then I can kind of fine tune after. So I have to work on that today. And then I have, I'm gonna have a later evening because I have a training with the Deck Collective tonight. I had a call yesterday with our chapter. A lot of like Deck Collective stuff this week. I am feeling a little burned out. I think I will probably do a video on artist burnout, but I want to talk to my therapist first and see if she has tips for creative people, and then share some of those ideas with all of you. And often I feel like when you're creative, like the idea of art block, I feel like it's almost like a misnomer that like we're having art block, but the reality is that we're just burned out creatively and mentally, and everyone's exhausted and all the stuff going on in the world. So I'm feeling that. I've been feeling that for the last 2 weeks, and I need to rest, and I haven't given myself permission to do that. So I'm just gonna do this, do my drawing, and then be okay with trying to like rest the rest of the day, just because I'm not feeling well and I'm feeling exhausted, and I don't do my best work when I am tired. So, but I'm also used to the whole grind culture too, which is like a hot mess in of itself, where like we work well under pressure, and we think we do better under pressure. And I used to think like that, and now I'm realizing all that kind of did was like not help my health. So I'm gonna get these 2 things done, be okay with that, and then kind of take the rest of the day to chill out a bit, and then hopefully not feel so stressed the next few days, and be okay with like doing just enough versus trying to do all the damn things on my list. And be okay with carrying stuff over into following weeks, because I have the tendency, and I feel like a lot of people who are self-employed or creative entrepreneurs, like we make these tremendous to-do lists, and it's not healthy. Like we think we can do 10 things in a day, and as much as I want to do 10 things in a day, sometimes it's okay to only do 2 or 3. And hopefully too, now that the world is opening up a little bit more, I'm not going anywhere like crazy or interesting or anything like that yet, but hopefully we can kind of venture outside more. I don't know, maybe a museum this summer if I can convince my kiddos that it's safe for us to go. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm hoping this summer we'll have more footage outside of these 4 walls.